Hello people, this is Ryder here with the review of the DX Yokai Watch Ogre from Yokai Watch Shadowside. So this is the main Yokai Watch from that first debuted in Yokai Watch Shadowside, the movie, which then became the secondary watch within the series itself, as the main watch is the Elda. But this watch was the first one released, obviously because it was in the movie. I think the Elda was also in the movie. It's just that got released coincided with the show. But anyways, yeah, I don't have the packaging, of course, because I got the second hand. But the box was very similar towards traditional Yokai Watch packaging. I don't know if I'll be able to find a picture of it on the internet for it to be photoshopped in, but oh well. Anyways, we have the contents out of itself. We have the Yokai Watch Ogre itself, and the replacements, or one half of the replacements of the yokai medals, the Yo-seikens. So obviously we will take a look at this later, because this watch itself actually has a lot to cover before we actually get to the main stuff. So the Yokai Watch Ogre, as you can see, I think this one got released after the, Kuroi Yokai Watch, which was a slight retooling of the Type U prototype. So, but this one's like a completely new base, though. So if I were to completely, extend it, like so, when we look at the wrist strap, I really like this translucent wrist strap overall. I like how thick it is. I like the glitter emplacements or injections. I just like the design, the triangle design they have for this one, and it carries over from here. So we have the loop and the cover, like so. Then we have the speaker right here. Then we have the battery cover, which this only requires one AAA battery. And then we get the watch face itself, to which I really like this watch face overall. I apologize if it's not gonna focus as well. Actually, it looks pretty well. But so you get some designs around the edge, and then you get this blue diamond here, along with the four silver claw-esque corners and such. And obviously, well, not obviously, then we got another mark down here, because the thing with this one is that you can actually turn this to 4 placements. Obviously, because it's a watch, it's supposed to represent the places of where the clock will be. So this will be 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. However, this one, as we look into later, actually acknowledges it as 0 o'clock. You can't put them here. It's just that they don't click. It only clicks at the 4 points. And at the side, we got a nice, I really like the silver paint overall. Obviously mine's kind of chipped, but we got another red arrow there because of the fact when you press this pops up. This entire section pops up, and then you just simply press it down and such. And then this is where you're going to slot in the Yo-seikens, to which, as you can see from down there, it actually still uses the traditional Yokai Watch 3-pin track system. However, obviously you cannot use yokai medals because this thing is not compatible with yokai medals. So, putting this on my wrists. I don't really like doing this just because of because of the paint. But you just simply you slot the watch on your wrist like so. So again, I really like how sleek looking this watch is. I really like just the simplicity of it. I really like how the watch face is the only thing that actually adds more color. Other than that, I really like the base color of black, silver, and blue. It's a really nice combination overall, and obviously just this is how all that stuff is done. So let's try to take this off. I didn't do this in the demo, but I will compare this to the original Yokai Watch. Obviously, this is not accurate because obviously this is the version note, but just to show you the sheer difference that the evolution basically up to this point. So obviously this is the basic Yokai Watch that had the cover. Is this still on? No. That has the cover and such, and this is where you slot the metal. This one, on the other hand, is just a lot more bulkier, and surprisingly, so from what I'm seeing is that they made the wrist strap a lot thicker, but they just shortened it. So that's pretty interesting for the most part. And obviously, again, because of how much more these ones do, they only run on one AAA battery instead of R44s. So, going over the sounds. So, the on and off switch in this corner, simply, switch up like so. There we have a red LED with the activation, and you can't really do anything because you can press this up, but I won't recommend it because it's just going to activate things already. So you can, again, just turn this like so, and it will just continue until you stop at a place. So this first one, for example, bad at this. So we're gonna be at the 3 o'clock position with Omatsu. So the 4 yokais here are not exactly yokais, they're what they're called Gemma yokai. So our first Gemma yokai summon will be Omatsu, to which we will simply press the side button right like so. So we will get that standby chant, and to which we will initiate the summoning by pressing down this entire watch face. So there we have completely summoned Omatsu, and the thing is that you can do this up to 3 times to actually cycle through at least 3 phrases of each Gemma yokai. So if we can do that again by simply pressing this down, and then press this down. I'm only going to show it with Omatsu just because of time. If you want to see each 3 phrases from each Gemma yokai, then watch the demo. Moving on, so turning this down to 6 o'clock, where we will get Yoshisune? And the chant is still the same. So there's his summoning, and then these 2 obviously should be familiar if you are well aware of Ghost, or just, I guess, Japanese history as a whole. 9 o'clock. I also want to say with the phrases, they're kind of in the same variety of like, character name, I've arrived, appears, and I think there's like one actual unique phrase between them. But yeah, this one Benkei, or this Gemma yokai being Benkei in the last one. And last but not least, Goemon. So Goemon, obviously, luckily we got the Kenzan, because I know Yoshitsune at least has Kenzan, and I think Benkei does too. But again, I really do appreciate the fact that the phrases, the summoning phrases, do change up. That is really nice and such, because then obviously if it's just the one, things kind of get boring. Speaking of things not getting boring, let's move on to, again, the Yo-seiken, the second actual, like the first actual non-metal gimmick of Yokai Watch. So Yo-seikens are obviously, you obviously know Seiken from Saber, Seiken's holy sword. So these are swords that they're supposed to represent I don't know much honestly, but I'm just gonna assume these are swords that are supposed to represent they don't represent anything. Like, these are supposed to basically just allow the user to transform into I don't think they're yokais, but as you can see here, the wielder of the Fudo Raimeiken present here, Fudo Mio O. And then, like, I just really like the design of the Fudo Raimeiken overall. Like, I really like the texture, like, hilt they have and such. And, like, they got paint down here, but as you can see, it's chipped. But, when you turn it around, first of all, as you can see from here, here's the traditional track system for yokai medals. And also just see how glittery the sticker is. Also from here, you got a QR code for, I believe, Busters 2, Yokai Watch 3. I don't remember, but I like, to compare it to a traditional yokai medal. So as you can see, they basically just took this portion. Basically took this and like made it bigger and such. So which I think this is like a nice evolution of going through medals to swords. I think that's cool. Like, I don't know, just having the gimmick, changing the gimmick into swords is like honestly really cool. So basically how this interacts with the Yokai Watch Ogre, again, you got the Yo-seiken slot down here, to which you're simply gonna slot this into here, to which this will actually function as the secondary button for this, because then when you insert the Yo-seiken, this portion will pop up, to which then it would go through the same process. Instead, it would just announce the Yo-seiken, and then you will actually press the watch face down with the Yo-seiken, which is why like this portion is kind of filled in a way. Like, there's not like a slot to actually put it down, which is why the paint here scratches. But other than that, like, I think the entire process is cool. So again, slot this on like so. So there we have the jingle for the Fruto Raimeken, which I really like it overall. I think the vocalist here is one from King Cream Soda. I could have sworn it is one of the singers in there because it sounds really similar. But yeah, that's all you can do. But honestly, I think it's pretty neat. You don't get any voices from Fudo Muo, which kind of sucks. But then again, it's like how exactly you're gonna do that and such. And obviously, when you do this, it will just interrupt it. And obviously, when you have the Seiken in, it will, because of the fact, you know, when you insert the Yo-seiken, it's pressing this button. And then there's the air sound. And then there's that without any interruptions, which I didn't show in the demo because I don't really know how to efficiently trigger that. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on the Yokai Watch Ogre. Let's actually stand it up like so. This is like this one became easily my favorite Yokai Watch out of the entire line, as we're covering it later, but like my original favorite was the Zero Shinki because I really just liked the turning aspect. I really like the turning aspect of the Zero Shinki, or the Zero Shinki and such. So I really like that this one incorporates something of that too, but then like just the fact they actually decided to shake up the gimmick and such is really cool, and just the sounds are pretty neat. Like this is the first Yokai Watch to, like, from what I know, that actually is pretty standalone, with the fact you can summon 4 Gemma yokais, get 3 phrases from them individually, and then at that point, just the inclusion of the Yo-seiken is just an extra bonus on top. Like, I think just the base set, yeah, you're gonna get kind of bored, but that's why you had to wait several months after when the show actually started to actually get more out of this and such. So like what I said before, this was originally released during when the movie was premiering back in December 2017. Then it got re-released in 2018 alongside the Elda, I want to say in March or something like that. So you did have 2 chances of getting this thing. I missed out on both. So, which is why I had to get this secondhand and such, but I don't mind at all, because I think this, like, I guess, because going into that, I do recommend trying to track this one down, but, like, you're gonna have to find a good price on it, because this one's actually kind of hard to find in the aftermarket, because spoilers if you don't know, I got this in a lot with all the other Yo-seikens. But this would have been typically like $35 at best. So that's what I'm gonna recommend you to try to find this under. Just because I think this, like, if you do collect yokai watches, and if like you want to have a yokai watch but you don't want to collect the medals, this is like another good way of like getting something from the series but not necessarily having like the iconography of the series, I guess. Because this is like, the jingles are basically kind of in line with like Kamen Rider and such. So I can definitely say that like there could definitely be an appeal and such, but yeah. Pretty cool watch overall. But I can't wait to show what more it does. So I have to do this review. So this is Ryder, and I'll leave you people. Bye.